Just restarting the recording. Okay, continue.
Anyway, my mage was a fresh 110, and I think it was on my mage anyway. And I was doing Trail of Valor. It may have been on my priest though. But basically everybody died except for like maybe a group and a half of the raid. It took us forever, but we killed it. Also, I got rooted by this guy, so I'm killing him.
Fine.
Arena says his Swedish knowledge is 101.
101.
That's your language.
He grew up with English. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that was true in some cases, because my brother Rob, he grew up speaking English, and he cannot. And my brother William, they cannot speak or write or do
almost said
anything.
America, but then I'm like, wait, you're Canadian. You're all Canadian. Oh, those are something we're supposed to.
Sab was like, I got my second or third kill of Mythic Odin, got my kill or I got brought in for the second or third kill of Mythic Odin, got my kill, and then told my raid leader, don't ever fucking bring me back to this fight. Honestly, like, I did that fight on, we were doing, what, normal or heroic? I don't remember, with Pippi.
It had to have been normal.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't do the mythic rating or that anymore. I stopped doing that in Blackrock Foundry. But I was grouping with this group, and they were pretty awesome people, and they really liked me tanking. They kept asking me to go join their main group, actually. But I didn't have time.
We don't have to kill these.
I know, it was just in the way of the crate.
Guardian Stone. Yeah, sometimes they aggro when you pick up a crate. What is this?
The Danga's Grave.
Sturdy mountain, trusted friend. Aw.
Oh, I don't have any blood petal things, so.
Yeah, I don't either.
Alright.
That's sad. This used to be a quest hub.
It did. This is where the quest with the link reference was.
Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, Sab, you know how that fight works, right? Like the, with the tanks. Basically, guys, what the boss would do is he'd target the tank with a spear throw, and you had to run it as far the fuck away from the group as you could. Otherwise, it would do massive damage to you and the rest of the group. Or, if that wasn't a possibility, you had to run all the way away to the, it's not that's not a possibility, you had to. But by the time you got back to the group, you had to taunt because he was throwing one at the other tank. And at the same time, you had to move the boss around the room because different parts of the room were being lit up with energy that if you stood in it, you died.
What the fuck are you? What encounter are you talking about?
Odin.
Oh, right, yes.
Right? Like, as a tank, that fight was fucking awful.
Yeah, it was a lot of damage.
There was a ton of damage, there was a ton of stupid mechanics, like, and then hell yeah, it was just a clusterfuck of what is going on.
Like, people not really doing enough damage, and then dying.
Exactly.
And so the encounter would just take a long time. You didn't have a really competent set group.
Oh, it was the worst.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
but we
okay
got
with
it.
I'm okay with tank mechanics, but Jesus Christ, that was ridiculous. Like, add a little bit of time between when you have to jump on normal.
Look at all these crystals.
Hell yeah, is what broke my morale. Couldn't we just come up here and get all the crystals?
These are not the lootable kind.
Right? Like, you can't even loot them, but... Why couldn't we have just come up here and loot these? Well, they fucking shattered my morale. Right? Like... The concept behind the fight was pretty cool. I'll grant them that, but the fight just, I don't think, was that great. Garm, on the other hand, was a fantastic encounter. I enjoyed that one. Arena played WoW, right?
Yeah, he plays it, but he's on the EU.
Yeah. Arena, what's your
Also-
favorite raid?
He said his Swedish knowledge is 101. He can write, but he can't speak. And then he did the Miro emoji.
Yeah, Mira! We need more of that. I actually get really happy when I see him use it.
Yeah, looks good. Whoever made that is awesome.
Yes. Sab says Mythic Hellia was so horrible. Or maybe Garm was horrible on Mythic, I don't know.
They probably were all terrible on Mythic.
That's kind of why I got out of Mythic and just started my casual FF14 group. It was too stressful, and I don't deal with stress. I deal with stress at work.
Also, it's like when you're set to raiding so many days for so many years, it gets exhausting.
Yeah.
We're old.
Yeah, I deal with enough stress with work, and I know that sounds weird because I don't actually deal with a lot of stress at work most days, but usually on raid days, that's when the stress would happen, and I'd be like, fuck. Anyway, so yeah, I decided that I was just not going to bother with it anymore. Alright, I need 2 more.
It says, my favorite raid, Black Temple, is fun, but I have been focusing mainly on PvP since Wrath.
Okay, first off, stop that. Nobody likes PvP. Even PvPers don't like PvP. What? Did this thing just throw me over its head? Weird. I'm kidding. You're a fucking liar. You hate PvP.
I liked it, this expansion.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Pima, why do you lie to your fans?
It says, not sure what he said there. He basically said don't PvP. No one likes PvP.
I mean, I'm kidding. Do what you like. Do what you have fun with.
Good.
Cutter beam instant equal death on Hellia. Yeah, I remember that. Even on normal, that was pretty. Was Cutter beam on a normal? I think it was.
No.
No? All right, then it was from the video I watched. Instant death had to kill ads in a certain amount of time, where you would just wipe because the damage would ramp up to be unhealable. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You gotta have DPS checks in there.
Ads on the other modes, but that makes sense that it would be like that.
I know that big guy had an anchor, and that was kind of annoying. He tanking that thing because people wouldn't DPS him down, and he'd just kill me after a while because of his stupid debuff. Because the other tank couldn't taunt because they had 700 different ads on them that I couldn't taunt, all of them off of him. So, target priority.
Arena said, oh, PvP is fun. I like playing against teams full of Russian symbols as names.
Alright, now remember which voice you did for which.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
how
Talking
you doing?
to Tara.
Super sticky. Tara's done it again. The super sticky glue will be all the rage.
That was the worst.
Yeah, this tar is pretty sticky, I guess. I mean, it's sticky, but it's not make fistfuls of money sticky. I guess I'll have to keep thinking. Hey, I know. We've been looking at the wrong tar creatures. Grimix once told me about a larger than normal tar creature that he ran into. It lurks around the tar pit far to the east of here, south of Fungal Rock. I'll bet that the bigger these creatures get, the stickier they get. We'll make some money yet, Luminol. Don't forget the scraper.
Okay, we gotta kill this guy and get bracers, which are not better than what I got, but they give dodge instead of other stuff, so I'm gonna use them.
Hurry back.
Oh, and he's got hard to harvest to turn in.
Have you obtained the tar blossoms yet? I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Great work, sweetheart. Here's some gold. You earned it.
Be careful out there.
Okay.
Time is money, friend.
Did you find anything good? It's a bunch of junk, but it's a bunch of free junk, and that's all that matters to me. Well, mostly free. Here's your share, thanks.
Glad I could help.
Yo!
There's plenty of money to be had here in Ungoro. You just need to know where to look. It's maybe coming here in Ungoro, but they're much rarer up north. And have a look. A gorilla hide fetches 10 times what you'd get for it down here. I'm not gonna send you all the way up to Winter Spring. That'd be irresponsible. But I could use your help actually obtaining some hides. You'll find gorillas at Fungal Rock to the northeast, near a waterfall. Don't forget to check inside the cave. Alright.
Have a good one.
There's another quest here.
It's a lady dwarf. Alright.
What's on your mind?
Great to meet ya. Unfortunately, some things happened to one of my greatest inventions. You've seen mechanical squirrels, yes? Well, to get closer to the apes of Ungaro Crater, I created a mechanical ape to blend in with their kind. Call her Amy01. She has been studying the local wildlife at Fungal Rock for several months, but she should have returned by now. I feel the worst for her. Can you help me find her? There.
Watch your back.
Arena says, fucking hell, please. Your voices have more enthusiasm than Miro's. I keep dying every time you talk. Oh no.
More enthusiasm than mine. I don't know about that.
Yep. You heard it. More enthusiasm.
So,
Them's the breaks. He says it was a joke. No, I know it wasn't a joke. It's okay. You don't have to spare Miro's feelings.
it's true. Sap says, the worst part about the cutter beam is that it could target someone that was in the soak rotation of mechanics. Of course, that makes sense. I mean, that's shit, but he's always targeted me, and you would hear people in the raid always be like, who the fuck isn't moving?
Well, that's funny.
Unbelievable.
So, he's supposed to be around here, but I bet he passed.
Probably.
How did you like my dwarf voice?
There he is, I see him. It was a voice.
It was a voice.
It wasn't the best voice, but it wasn't the worst voice. It wasn't my favorite voice, but it was my least favorite voice.
Oh.
You know what's great about being disarmed?
Nothing?
Nothing, but I can at least use my shield. Still.
Yeah, that's true. Arena says, I totally want to hear a dwarf voice. Wow. Well, I did one. And then he says, remember, next NPC is French. But I've never done a French accent, like, I think in my life.
I'm not sure I know what a French accent is either.
Yes, you do. You can speak French.
I can speak French.
Speak French every time I call you.
What?
Yeah.
Name one time I've ever spoken French to you.
Pourquoi me parles-tu?
What?
Did you skin him?
Yeah. Did you? Anyway.
Pourquoi me parles-tu?
No, I spoke Kwame Paltu.
That's what I said.
No, you're like pronouncing that weird.
Pourquoi me parles-tu?
Okay, it's not Malpel. It's Mapel.
Pourquoi me parles-tu?
That's better. It's still not great.
Pourquoi me parles-tu?
From now on,
Ah.
Juju affect my man.
Huh?
He said from now on, Juju affect my man.
Je veux aqua-
What?
I forgot what it was.
Juju avec moi-même.
Je joue avec moi-même?
Pretty much, yeah. You just said that you play with yourself.
I what?
Play with yourself.
Oh.
You get to read this, by the way, because this is a lady gorilla.
Amy lies motionless before you. No power seems to be running through her opponent. Suddenly, the robotic gorilla's eyes light up and it begins to speak. Oh no. Operational capacity less than 5%. Accidentally punctured oil reservoir. Use coconut milk. Rock. Save Amy. 01. Amy closes her eyes.
You're pretty sure that Amy01 has asked you to obtain an Ungoro coconut, crack it on the rock nearby, and give her the high viscosity coconut milk.
Why did you read that part?
Why not?
There's something here. Oh, that's
It's a
just
gorilla.
the turn in. I know it's a gorilla.
Sab, how do you feel about gorillas?
I got a coconut.
Yeah, I saw that. Break it on the rock.
Okay. I wonder if that shares credit.
We're gonna find out.
Look at that.
Sab, when you talk about gorillas in real life, do you pronounce it like Clayton from Tarzan?
Did you get credit?
I don't know yet. No, I don't have a high viscosity milk, so. Time for me to run over here and grab that coconut that I saw. Gorilla.
You have to like stand on the rock.
What the fuck is your problem?
What? I'm helping.
You're not even helping. You're just trying to tell me what to do.
That's helping.
What? No. Alright, I got it. Alright.
Ah, here she is. Amy01 has gone into power save mode. Pour the coconut milk into what appears to be Amy01's oil reservoir. You hear the sound of gears whirring and actuators firing. Oh god. Greetings. I, Unit Amy01. You. What else? Amy's mission to study the local gorillas was success. Amy has gathered data that Karna needs. Amy01 not returning though. Amy has new family now. Here, with the gorillas, Amy stay. Amy01 detaches a small device from her hand and gives it to you. You bring data back to Karna. You tell her what happened.
Well, apparently the dwarves have massive flash drives.
Thumb drive.
Also known as a flash drive.
We have to kill some gorillas.
Yes, that's what I'm on my way to do. How very astute of you.
Some of them are in the cave.
Yes.
I remember this.
There's also one over there that we gotta kill called a Stomper.
Yeah. I think the Thunderers are in the cave.
Probably. Sounds like a place a Thunderer would be. Sab, would you fight a gorilla in real life?
What the fuck? No, definitely not.
I said Sab. Are you Sab?
I'm just saying you shouldn't do that. They will rip your face off.
What if it was to protect a child?
No!
What? You wouldn't protect a child from a gorilla?
No.
People like, no, that fucking kid's dead. I'm out of there.
If a kid, like, fucks with a gorilla, that's their own fault, not the gorilla's fault. Just saying. Topical.
I don't know. I feel like you should be allowed to place human laws on animals. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Animals need to act with civility.
They do.
And not like, you know, we're not animals.
The mighty Ucha. Looking around, you see bits of red fur laying around this part of the cave. It appears to match the consistency of gorilla fur. Based on your conversations with Gremix, you know that he would almost certainly be interested in a red gorilla hide if you were to obtain one. I got an axe called a beast killer. That's an interesting looking axe.
I love the description. You see this of the gorilla?
No, I didn't even look at it.
The mighty Ucha. This is your best guess as to what a red gorilla might look like. Blizzard. Never
It's fucking ridiculous.
change, Blizzard. Never change. Except the greed and that stuff.
Hey, Twitch, thank you for welcoming me to my own chat room. I appreciate that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it just popped up a message.
Oh, also, last night I was like, I read it on my phone while in bed to help me like get tired.
Who the fuck does that?
Me?
That's rude. Don't do it.
Hey, there's a red gorilla. It looked exactly as I imagined.
Yeah, the picture didn't help with the imagination at all. It's exactly how you thought it would look.
Yeah, wow. Can you believe that?
Indeed. Anyway, what were you gonna say about reading?
Oh, yeah, so I open Chrome and it like somehow knows shit I'm into. Even though I use Firefox as my browser on the computer. Anyway, whatever. Google knows my life and everything about me.
Yeah, thanks to Mark
There's this
Zuckerberg.
article about Overwatch, competitive Overwatch. And it started off pretty good, saying like the pros don't take it seriously as a method of training or learning much, and that like the rest of the gamers don't really either. Like it's exhausting and like it's not as fun as it's intended to be. Or
What is it?
something. Anyway, competitive.
Oh.
So, and it doesn't really teach people things necessarily.
Alright.
Got all my pelts. But then the article just goes on to say like, we need a roll queue, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, oh god. Because, like I said, that would be such a double-edged sword, and the edge that is detrimental.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not.
How does Sad feel about a roll queue?
Can we save at the moss pile? I wonder.
Probably. What? Why am I out of combat? Oh, what? That gorilla, I somehow dismounted, and that gorilla is nowhere near me. It's like way the fuck back there.
They're like, you fucked with us. Fuck
Apparently.
you.
Anyway.
But yeah. Oh, definitely gonna have to open my windows after this stringing. Oh wow, speaking of which,
A roll queue in Overwatch.
it's a good idea and also a bad one. Because unfortunately, it would force essentially the 2-2-2 format, which is generally useful, but sometimes you don't need it. And you can, like, if your enemies are a certain comp, you might want to change it up.
Indeed. Good idea.
And yeah.
Playing catch with your 2-year-old. Bad idea. Playing catch with your 2-year-old. Alright, let's talk to the dwarf first.
Welcome.
What's this? She decided to stay. Fascinating. I'll have to look over this data and find out why. Thank you again, Luminal. I really appreciate it.
Safe travels.
Alright, let's talk to Tara.
Okay. Alright.
Well,
God, why are they walking so much? I'm counting on you, Luminal. I'm invested pretty heavily into the Tara's glue scheme, and it'd be a shame if you came back empty-handed. Yes, this tar is just the stuff. Hey, wait a minute, my hands. I can't seem to get them apart. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Oh, but wait. Super sticky tar remover. That's where the real money is.
Indeed.
if you ever need
Gramix
anything,
is a dude.
That is true. Grimix is a dude. I guess I can equip this armor. Give me a sec. Yeah. Okay.
Time is money, friend.
The Apes of Ungara. I never knew what style is in vogue, so I want a few different colors. Try to get the hides from each different type of gorilla there. All the colors are the same. All the gorillas are the same color. Anyway, wow, 2 of each color. You certainly are an overachiever, Mira. My companions and I could use a blood elf like you two around here. Ever consider a career in profiteering? The mighty Ucha. Red fur? What are you waiting for? Go back and get that red gorilla. I'll pay you double. Wow, look at this one. Not just the color, but the size of it. You could cover a torn with this. Here you go, Miro. You've earned this. Stick around. I'm sure we can find something else for you to do. The Northern Pylon. What?
I said I got a useless weapon. I deserve it.
You've done us a number of favors, Miro. Now let Gremix do one for you. The attacks on Marshal's Refuge were terrible, undoubtedly, but they came without warning. They took no prisoners. They were lucky so many of them survived. A few weeks ago, I came across a crystal pylon in the cliffs to the northeast of here. East of Marshal's Refuge, I think. The pylon and the attacks may be related somehow. Maybe you can investigate. I'm sure someone in Marshal's Den will thank you.
Keep it real.
Alright, let's go check that out. Had enough time for that, I think. Seb says, I don't see how that would make sense. I get that there are tanks, DPS, and healers in Overwatch, but they aren't the same in the natural viewpoint because of the type of game that Overwatch is. You might think that, but it actually has the same... What the hell are you doing, Pam? You haven't moved yet.
Sorry, I was looking at something. I'm on my way. Yeah, tanks and DPS and healers do
If they play the way they're supposed to, then they function pretty much how you'd expect them to.
yeah. And just as in, like, you know, WoW, tanks can still do substantial damage and various kind of disabling of enemies.
Right? Like, so if your Reinhardt is there and he's got his shield up and he's protecting the group, and then charging weak enemies or enemies that aren't unsuspecting and bashing them with fire strikes and his hammer, then he's doing his job, right? Whereas if your Ryan is trying to flank the enemy and not protecting his group, then he's not playing as a tank. He's trying to play a tracer.
Yeah, you can play them badly, for sure, and you'll be punished. That.
Here's our next pylon.
You want me to read it?
Sure.
The crystal pylons of Ungaro are a mystery to all. The few inhabitants here, they are a source of legend, with much speculation as to their purpose. Examine it. The pylon seems to be transmitting data somewhere. Close inspection of the pylon leads you to find a small table containing yellow, red, and green crystals arranged in what seems like a specific formation. A large yellow circle of crystals is flanked on either side by a small circle of red crystals and another of green crystals. You carefully take note of what you see, knowing that someone may be very interested in hearing about what you have found. That is, like, what? Why?
Alright, we're gonna go back.
Where is the fucking table?
It's a good question. I don't see it. Let's hurt.
Yeah. Might be a good stopping point.
It's in the sense of tank. The tank in Overwatch isn't just standing there taking damage while preventing a boss from getting to healers and DPS. Their job is to prevent the DPS and them from damaging your support, right? And your DPS.
Yeah.
They're there to soak damage.
Yeah, they
Good
are.
day to you.
I see what you're
It's about
saying. I see what you're saying. It's not exactly the same, but the functionality is pretty much the same thing.
Like, you don't have threat. That's... I mean, since it's a PvP game. You think this may be related to the attacks on Marshal's Refuge, Luminol?
Off and away.
It's off and away. Nolan Tacker.
Hey!
Hey, you want to try my new Dimetratron dogs? No? Raptor risotto? Pterodax tacos? Fine. Oh, I just remembered. I have a friend nearby that might be able to use your assistance. His name is Spark Nilminer, and he's a Marshall Expedition's Chief Archaeology Officer. He's been sent out to Galaka Hot Springs to the west. You'll find him on the spring's western shore. Talk to Spark Nilminer. Oh,
Alrighty
that's
then.
objective. Alright. So that's probably going to be the stopping point for today. I think we made some good progress, though. We haven't actually finished any of the story chapters yet for this, but I think we're getting close.
Yeah.
However, so for next week, guys, here's what we can expect. We're going to do at least Sulfurak. We may also do Sunken Temple, because Sunken Temple is no longer anywhere near as long as it used to be, but it's also significantly...
Fly to Orgrimmar to transmog.
It's actually significantly shorter than it used to be, too. They cut out a huge part of the issue with that dungeon, which was a giant maze. I'll discuss more about that later. Either way, today we finished off Stratholme. That took a while because the dungeon is gigantic, and we had people that were playing like asshole. Well, we had a player that was playing like an asshole, and that kind of threw us off.
I got what you need.
Yeah.
And it was...
Hurry back.
It is a fairly giant dungeon. But yeah, so next week we'll do, at the very least, Zul'Farrak, then we'll do some more Ungoro, and then we'll at least go into Silithus and show you the zone, though I don't know how much of a quest hub it is anymore. Like, it never used to be a quest hub. It used to have almost nothing there, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. Tonight, I might do some more Dragon Quest X with Tiamat if she's available. It'll be a fairly late stream, as we do have movie night tonight as well, so we'll see. We'll just be doing some leveling and such if she's up for it, because we gotta get her caught up. So be around for that. Tomorrow we do have Divinity Original Sin. Next Sunday we do not, because I am going to a friend's birthday party that day.
Don't.
I am going to. And tomorrow we'll be back, or not tomorrow, Monday we'll be back with more Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, as always, thank you for viewing. If you like what you saw, don't be afraid to throw me or Wintrigue a follow, as we're here every Saturday.